Good morning, welcome back to A to Z Gardening. I'm out here in the nursery and snow or rain is not falling on me today. And I'm going to talk about a product or a plant that seems to be picking up momentum and it has no end. Every year it seems like in other parts of the country, in our industry, it's kind of tapering off, but we have a very strong thirst for the rose industry still here in Erie, PA. We grow thousands of roses here in-house at stands, and I have a little bit of end of season, putting them to bed, if you will, a little bit of care about your solid investment you've made in adding that long-term, sunny, loving, blooming plant in your garden to make sure it comes back for you next year. So there is numerous types. You can see a very compact version here in Meat Petite. You have a shrub type here that's a little bit larger and rambling, and you have something that is grafted, okay? That's where I'm going today with protecting these roses during the winter. This kind of knot here, if you will, this union, that's actually man-made. They take a very hardy rose, maybe like something like this, and they put a more desirable bloom on top of it. They union them together like that in a knot there basically that is a callus called a graft. That graft has to stay protected and alive in order for that top plant to stay blooming and growing for you next year. If that top gets abused by a really harsh winter, then it's possible that top plant will die. And did you say, I got a pink rose and it came back yellow? That could be what happened. The graft died and that original true to root plant, like the shrubs like this, is what came back. So how are we going to protect? Do not be afraid to go ahead and take a couple snips and prune to make the plant a little bit more sizable so that you can maybe get a protection device like the styrofoam here right over top of the plant, protect that graft, go ahead and mulch around it. That's going to go ahead and protect that from that aggressive wind. What harms plant in the winter? Plants are exposed, even though they're deciduous and they lose their leaves, they go to sleep and they still have to pull some moisture. So protecting that from that aggressive wind that chaps that bud while it's frozen is what's important. The second way, if you don't want to put a styrofoam lid over there, maybe you don't like the looks of it, you can go ahead and use some well-draining mulch. I really like the Pine Mini Nugget, something with a little bit of coarseness to it so it doesn't sit wet. If you get a phone book wet, it sits wet all winter long. This tends to dry off when the moisture stops falling, yet it protects that crown or that base. You can go ahead and mulch right up around that base, then pull it back come Easter time when we start getting some warmer temperatures. This material here, that's for spring. If you're thinking, I'm gonna do something good, I'm gonna put a systemic in and a fertilizer in to protect the plant, that's a no-no for this time of year. Once you kind of put that plant to sleep, let it sleep. You don't want to drive it with fertilizer, and it's not going to soak up that nice fungicide and insecticide to protect anything during the winter. Save that for spring. For any questions on putting your hard-earned money to sleep in the fall season, feel free to contact any of us professionals here at Stands.